So I've been hypercritical of the comic industry as of late, especially out of the big two. Maybe not personally on the internet, but privately. And I think it's very important to have this conversation and put it out there. Hopefully somebody sees this and things start making sense. So my biggest problem with modern day comic books is that they're not easily accessible to the younger generation, or they're not in public places. Like, you have to go out of your way to get a comic book, like say the comic book store, instead of somewhere like a gas station. And that brings me to today's video. My girlfriend was in the gas station and she sent me a photo and she said, "Look, there are comics in the gas station." And I was like, "Oh, that's great. They're finally thinking about getting out of like comic book stores, and it's really smart of them." However, like I read through all of these and I feel like the marketing team just doesn't understand either like the modern generation or how to get people to buy the next book. It's good that this is happening, but the way they're doing it is terrible. Like, it's really bad. Like, so they're all number ones, and I do like that they're all number ones. However, if I want to continue to read this series, I have no idea what to do. They have this ad for Unlimited under it, but it doesn't say scan here to read the next issue in this story. If you want to read more, continue by scanning this. It is a small thing, but it's one small thing that could actually help you drive more comic book sales. Just putting this on the back of everything is not good marketing. The stories are fine at the very least. I have 3 problems with it. So they're kind of in the right direction with having these all on here, where you can see a bunch of issues that are for middle grade people. But the problem with that is, what if I am an adult male? I grew up with Scooby-Doo, and I saw that comic books are back in, and I like Batman, and now I'm being served all children's books. And on top of that, it's kind of the same thing with like this Teen Titans story, right? If I'm a kid and I read Teen Titans, you know, I'm like 13 and up, and then I go to the back to see what's going on here, it's all like more brutal stories, like The Killing Joke. I mean, like, sure, you can give that to I don't know if parents would give that to a 13-year-old. I just feel like these books aren't thought out in terms of how are we going to get more readers. It's just very frustrating because I want the comic industry to do better, but it's just like they don't want to do better. And it was also weird. So, and like going through this one, like at the back of it, there's like Superman books, and in the back of the Teen Titan, there are Batman books. So if I like Teen Titans, you're sending me to more Batman stories. This title is Absolute. Why am I getting different, like, not even Absolute titles? Like, this would be a great place to plug the wonderful new Absolute line that you have lined up. It's just very disappointing. It's like they don't even think before they publish things, and then they're gonna wonder why the sales haven't increased, or why things aren't getting better. It just blows my mind. If I was DC, this is how I would do it. Let's say we're doing number ones. I would have the title, I would have the story, no previews to other stories, but a story that fills up all the pages, and then in between, at like turn points, kind of like how, you know, a TV has a break, I would put an ad in there, because nobody really gets to the back of the book to get ads. That's how we used to do it. That's how they used to do in traditional comic books. Put the ads in the middle so people can see them as they go through it, because nobody really stops and looks at here. And when they hit the last page, what I would do is I would say, if you would like to continue reading the series, scan this code and give them a bundle or a collected edition. Like, say this was All-Star Superman issue number 1, right? That's the one you put out there. And then in the back it says, do you want to buy the whole thing? You can get the whole entire story right here. Just scan this QR code and get the whole collected edition, because I know they're doing the compacts, and I will say these compacts are really smart. These are probably the smartest thing DC has done to make comics more affordable and more accessible. Also, choose a good story. Choose a great story that people are going to want to read more of. Like some of your best-selling ones, even if it was like issue number 1 of Watchmen, right? You know, like issue number 1 of All-Star Superman, things the next generation hasn't read yet, but we already know that is really good and can get people to buy the whole thing. Here's the number 1 thing you should read. And then at the end, put this on the inside. Nobody looks at the back. Put the DC Unlimited thing on the inside. Put it on the back. And then pick like 3 stories that 1 or 2 stories, maybe 3 stories that relate to this story, that if they would like more of this kind of story, put it in the back. Put it in the back. Like, there's too much here. There's too many choices. Too many choices is a bad thing, okay? I think, like, the max thing is like 3 or 4 things before people get choice paralysis. I would say this is in the right direction, but they're just doing it really poorly. That is like the number one thing, and it really makes me really upset. The main thing that they're doing wrong is they are not making it easy. They make it so complicated. Make things easier. That is how things are successful. It is when you make them as easy as possible and you can do it. All right. Thanks for listening to me ramble about this. If you want to watch another video, I recommend you watch this one right here. And YouTube thinks you would like this one.